All right, we live. Let's clap it up. Shalom, DC, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible, and the truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true Jews, and that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. What we're going to get into tonight, we're not affiliated with any other Christian group or Hebrew Israelite group. 1 West is home of the truth. What we're going to get into tonight is what is the true meaning behind Labor Day. Today is Esau's holiday, and if you don't know, we do not celebrate anybody's customs, practices, ideologies, or philosophies. We don't celebrate any other feast days, holy days, holidays that is not pertaining to our Constitution and our instruction given to us by the Most High. Right? Today, Esau is a day of remembrance for laborers, for laborers in this country, and they want to quote unquote give some sort of recognition to the people who labor to make this country what it is today, a cesspool. That's really what it is. And the people who put forth this policy and this holiday has been corrupt and has been birthed in violence. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people really understand what in the world, Labor Day is, but we're going to get into it. We're going to get into exactly how, and it's not just the United States. The neighbors to the north, Canada, coincidentally, is the first Monday of, September? First Monday of September is their Labor Day as well. Internationally, there's a celebration for Labor Day, and that is the May 1st. May 1st, in the international community, they have another Labor Day, and that was birthed off the bloody events of what happened right here in these United States, way back over 100-some years ago. So the violence of Babylon the Great has its far-reaching tentacles to celebrate the violence of what happened. So what we're going to get into, let's see. What's the first article I sent? Go to the CNN article, Baba Kashar. Let's start there and see what CNN is a article by CNN. And they just came out with this article today, and we're going to see what they had to say about Labor Day. Read it when you got it.
Come. CNN.com. Why we celebrate Labor Day and the meaning behind it. Updated 5:26 a.m. Monday, September 5th, 2022. You probably associate Labor Day with sales, family barbecues, and the unofficial end of summer. For most Americans, the long weekend is a much-needed opportunity to reconnect with friends and family and provides a last hurrah before the start of fall.
So this is what it kind of turned into. But being off the bloody backs of what really happened and who they really should be celebrating for this day and every damn day on this earth, we've been totally cast out, have been totally put out of the mindset of this celebration, quote unquote celebration, when really the celebration is a celebration of violence, a violent means to an end, right? So now they're trying to say, it's all, hugs and kisses, celebration, relaxation, letting your hair down, relaxing, getting with old friends and family that you hadn't seen and been able to talk to for a while, simply because you've been working all the time, right? That's what it means today. But the origin of it has been very, very brutal and very, very bloody. And even there's still hints of it going on to this day. You know what I'm saying? If anybody dares crosses the unions, because the unions are the ones that that were able to take hold of this this celebration. If you dare go against a union, you will be your career can be at risk. You know what I'm saying? If you own a company, your company is at risk, your livelihood is at risk, and in certain situations, certain instances, your life, the life of you, the life of your family, the life of your friends who stick in it with you. All of that is at risk. Your health is at risk. Right? Let's keep going.
Come. But Monday's holiday holds a much deeper meaning. Rooted in the 19th century fight for fair working conditions, Labor Day was originally designed to honor workers as part of the American organized labor movement.
Now, okay, so they're supposed to be, it's supposed to honor, you know, workers. Who are the original workers in this stinking hellhole, this cesspool? Who's the original workers?
Niggas.
Who else?
The so-called Hispanics and the so-called Native Americans.
Yes. We were and still are the workers of this stinking cesspool. You think that they got together and said, man, these niggas and these niggas and these spicks don't are working so hard. Let's just give them a day to honor them totally and completely. You think it's that? Hell no. Hell no. What it really is during the Industrial Revolution, and it wasn't just this place, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just, you know, the United States. There's many other countries, other nations that had industrial revolutions within their lands. Within the Industrial Revolution, you had there was more and more need for labor, not just, you know, farmland labor, but there was more needs of labor within these large factories to produce certain goods and services and whatnot. In order to run these machines, you needed labor. You needed people to do that. And this was before what's the name? Henry Ford made up the assembly line, where everybody did one specific thing, and a thousand different things came through the one, like a wheel came through, and you had to put in, you know, two spokes, boom, boom, and the next person put in a few different spokes, and then to put in a rubber, whatever, to assemble that one tire, right? Before that, it was a bunch of different people doing all of that. So you needed more and more people, labor to operate these machines. With that, they encouraged immigration. They encouraged, one of the things that they did was they tried to keep away, you know, us Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians out of these industries, even though we were still, you couldn't get away from us. You know what I'm saying? We were still involved in this industry, but they gave those jobs, most of those jobs, to the immigrants. You know what I'm saying? The people that came from, you know, all over Europe, all over Asia. You know what I'm saying? They came over here to work in these factories. And when they did, they were working them like they were working us. You know what I'm saying? 12-hour plus days. Little to no lunch break, little to no safety equipment or safety standards, no standards. And if someone did get injured, no one was there to help them out to either get well or to move on to, you know, to get better. Go ahead. So there was no help or anything for that. And when they did do that, once they started realizing that they were treated like niggas, they was like, nah, we ain't niggas. We're good, pure white men. We are the oppressors of the world. We ain't supposed to be treated like this. So what did they do? They got together and formed unions at the and the owners, the management of the companies, these factories, hated that idea. So what did they do? They formed something called like union busters. A lot of that was met with violence. Let's continue on. Let's continue on reading this article, Baba Shaw.
Come on. When Labor Day started, Labor Day was first celebrated unofficially by labor activists and individual states in the late 1800s. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, New York was the first state to introduce a bill recognizing Labor Day, but Oregon was the first to actually codify it into law in 1887.
So in the late 1800s, this is during the Industrial Revolution. There was several states, and we're about to get into it, that was coming on and wasn't liking the labor laws, the labor practices of the day. and certain these states in the UNC, this is where most of the Industrial Revolution started. This is where this is how they most of the population of these factories were. They got together and was like, nah, we they found out that we're stronger together, unionized, and how when they did that, they started getting the attention of politicians and whatnot, and over a long course of violence, they actually got it, like they said, codified within law. So they actually built it up, their work and their efforts into law, and this is how it went. So let's keep going.
Colorado, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and New York had followed suit by the end of 1887. Joshua Freeman, a labor historian and professor emeritus at the City University of New York, tells CNN that the holiday developed as unions were beginning to strengthen again after the 1870s recession.
So, all right, so the unions were beginning to strengthen. The reason why the unions were strengthened is because the labor laws, the practices of the labor, the companies and the factories was so overwhelming to our oppressors that they had no choice but to come together and threaten the company, saying, hey, if you don't treat us right, then we're not going to work for you at all whatsoever. Right. So this is how it came into be. They were basically being treated like niggas. You know what I'm saying? They were treated like niggas. How do I say that? It's because this is just coming out of slavery. This is right after slavery, during Reconstruction. You know what I'm saying? So all these people had a mindset of, you work for us and you do what we tell you to do, when we tell you to do it, how the way we tell you to do it, and you have no say in it. Those were the practices a little bit before that time. So it wasn't even a generation later where now they're saying, you got to treat us right. You can't work us from sun up to sundown. And if we don't perform up to your standard, you can't do the things, the practices that you've done to us. When I say us, I'm not talking about they're not saying us. They're saying you can't do the practices that you used to do to the niggas that you do to us. You can't do that same thing. You can't whip us. You can't put us in chains and put us in the stockades. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sell us down the road. You can't sell our children down the road. You can't do that to us. So they got together and formed these certain labor laws and labor unions so that they'll be strong enough to negotiate. Let's keep going.
In New York City, two events converged that contributed to the formation of Labor Day, Freeman says. First, the now defunct Central Labor Union was formed by an umbrella body for unions across trades and ethnic groups.
All right.
Additionally, the Knights of Labor, then the largest national labor convention, held a convention in the city, complete with a large parade. But the parade fell on a Tuesday at the start of September, and many workers were unable to attend. The convention was a huge success, and unions around the country started holding their own labor celebrations at the start of September. usually on the first Monday of the month.
All right, so this is the origin of how Labor Day came to be the first Monday of September. This is the origin right here. Right, keep going.
At the beginning, it was a somewhat daring move to participate because you could get yourself fired, Friedman said.
All right, so even if you try to participate in something like this, they would say, you know, you're with the union, you're causing trouble, you're causing stir up, you're causing mischief and whatnot. So you could be fired for participating in something like this. Keep going.
But over time, states began to recognize the holiday, and it became more common for employers to give their employees the day off.
All right, let's drop that. I believe it's the second article, if you could, Baba Kashaw. Yeah, give me the second article I sent you. Labor Day.
Wikipedia, Labor Day. Labor Day is a federal holiday in the United States celebrated on the first Monday in September to honor and recognize the American labor movement and the works and contributions of laborers to the development and achievements of the United States. The 3-day weekend it falls on is called Labor Day weekend.
All right, keep going. I'm gonna send you another one.
Beginning in the late 19th century, as the trade union and labor movements grew, trade unionists proposed that a day be set aside to celebrate labor. Labor Day was promoted by the Central Labor Union in the Knights of Labor, which organized the first parade in New York City.
All right, so they're having a parade for their celebration. Go down, drop me down to the second paragraph.
Canada's Labor Day is also celebrated on the first Monday of September. More than 80 other countries celebrate International Workers' Day on May 1st.
So this is what I'm talking about. There's many other countries that have their own industrial revolution and that they celebrate Labor Day, but their Labor Day is around May 1st, the 1st of May, right? And it's going to tell you, keep reading.
The ancient European holiday of May Day. May Day was chosen by the Second International of Socialist and Communist parties to commemorate the general labor strike and events leading to the Haymarket Affair.
The Haymarket Affair. Now, what does that sound like? That sounds like something, you know, just like someone got a stern talking to, or something like that, right? Something down where on Haymarket Street. That's what they make. Yeah, the Haymarket Affair. It make it sound like it's something, you know, something that it really isn't of much importance. But the international community operates their individual Labor Day off of, you know, this particular day. What in the world is the Haymarket Affair? Go ahead, click that link. Wait, hold on. Finish this paragraph off.
Which occurred in Chicago May 1st through May 4th, 1886.
Okay, so what in the world happened during this time frame? Go ahead, click that if you could.
The Haymarket Affair, also known as the Haymarket Massacre.
The Haymarket what?
The Haymarket Massacre.
What in the hell is a massacre?
A lot of killing.
A lot of killing. When someone a massacre is when one group of people has overwhelmingly number, power, strength, and superiority, firepower, if you will, to overdo and subjugate another group of people, and usually that group of people is unarmed and or unable to defend themselves. So whenever there's something this Salaki, whenever there is something that is described as a massacre, it's basically bullying. You know what I'm saying? It's basically one group of people who are stronger than the other group of people, and it is not having any type of mercy on that group of people. They're showing that group of people no mercy whatsoever. You got something?
Yeah, sir. But you did pull it out. I was going to pull out one of the attributes of a massacre is that that one side that is not receiving any mercy, they're usually the ones that they're not even fighting back. Actually,
a lot of yes and no, yes and no. I would say yes. It's not that they're not fighting back. It's just that anything that they can do is useless. It's futile. You ever see? You ever see like two siblings or cousins fighting, and one cousin is like 16, 17 years old, and the other cousin is like 7, and they're trying to fight back, they're trying to swing and whatnot, but they can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? He's like, all right, well, I'm just playing around with you. I'm just playing around with you. Get out of here. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what in that instance when you're saying, they don't fight back. It's like they are, but nothing's landing. It's going to be like when Christ comes back and these oppressors try and fight us. And it's going to be futile. It's going to be useless. All their technology, all their weapons, all their military strategy is going to be useless, utterly useless against Christ, his angels, and all the hunters that he's going to be calling for. Because in that day, bullets ain't gonna help. Swords ain't gonna help. Bombs not gonna help. What are drones not gonna help? EMPs are not gonna help. Nothing that they gonna have is gonna help when Christ comes back. That is going to be the massacre of massacres. You know what I'm saying? All the swords and military strategy and chariots and horsepower and firepower that the Egyptians had, it meant nothing to them in that Red Sea. Right. It meant absolutely all the firepower that they had, they were killed by water. They were killed by water. The Most High, made that situation happen. But all the marrows, all the firepower, the military technology that they had at that time was superior to any other nation in the world. And the Most High killed them with water. Right. Feel that for a minute. The very thing that gives you life, the very thing that that gave that whole region life, because that whole region is desert. You know what I'm saying? They call it the Fertile Crescent. But that whole region is like I want to say, I'm not going to say that, but the Nile, just the Nile River, it extends not only through Egypt, but I want to say extends through a couple different countries down there. You know what I'm saying? And that river gives life to that whole region over there. And the Most High destroyed them. They weren't in the Nile River, but the Most High destroyed them with some water. Now that was a massacre, and there's going to be a massacre that's going to be even greater than that when Christ comes back and destroys his kingdom. I mean, shoot, just look at how he did with how the massacre was with Noah. You know what I'm saying? He destroyed the earth with water once again. He destroyed them with water. So all the weapons and technology and strategy and planning and what's the name of that? Prepping, nothing is going to escape the Most High's justice. Right? So this is what we're talking about. There was a massacre that had to do with the Haymarket Affair. Read that from the top one more time, Baba Shaw.
God. The Haymarket Affair, also known as the Haymarket Massacre, the Haymarket Riot.
Right.
The Haymarket Square Riot, or the Haymarket Incident, was the aftermath of a bombing.
Of a what?
Was the aftermath of a bombing.
Right. Keep going.
That took place at a labor demonstration on May 4th, 1886.
Where?
At Haymarket Square in Chicago, Illinois, United States.
So hold on, I thought the Arabs were known for bombing. That's what I thought. So you mean to tell me some oppressors was out there bombing some more oppressors? Because that's what the Haymarket Massacre, the Haymarket Square riot, the Haymarket Incident, the Haymarket Affair was all about. It's all about a bombing. And it was all and the bombing was over the way that the owners of companies treated the oppressors. They loathed to be treated like niggas. They didn't want to be treated like us. So what did they do? They gathered themselves together and they bombed somebody. Somebody got bombed. We're going to read who got bombed. And just to let you know, the international community bases their own Labor Day off of this event. There was a interview that this brother did a little while ago, and he was saying how I want to say it properly and not misquote the brother, even though he is not in the truth, and we don't advocate what he's saying. I'm a stress that out. The men at the I.S.U.P.K do not advocate anything that this brother is saying. What this brother said was he had a grievance with the government, how the way they were treating blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, right? And no, let me take that back because he didn't say that. He said how the way they were treating blacks. He was a proponent of BLM. He said he didn't like he had a grievance the way in particular the police were treating black and brown people. He said he protested peacefully and nothing got changed. Then he looked in history and he's seen how the way people protested and rioted and violence, and it was an immediate response. It was immediate change. It was immediate talk in Congress to change laws and enact laws. So he said, I don't advocate it, but I'm not against it. I'm not going to stop people from doing that, And this is one of the surefire cases of that argument that he was saying, because these people were protesting, labor rights, and they weren't getting heard. But then they go and bomb somebody. And I say, we do not advocate any sort of violence. If you have any grievance, you need to take that up with that person. And if they don't listen to you, take it up with the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, I would say 10 times out of 10, there may be that one, one that got loose, but I doubt it. Most of the time, the oppressor's not going to listen to you. They may say something and say, yeah, okay, we hear you. We're going to do something about that. Soon as you elect me in office, isn't that what Joe Biden said? Soon as you elect me in office, why is Brittany Griner in jail in a Russian prison right now, serving 10 years hard labor? She voted for you. She said that was the first time voting in her life. She voted for you. You said if you don't vote for him, you're not black. She voted for you. She's in trouble. She pleaded out to you. And yet she got sentenced and imprisoned. This is how they treat us. This is how they treat us. If we have an issue for them, just like what Commander General Yahanna says, take your spirit out from this place and put it in a place where you can get some actual justice. You can get actual justice, and where you're going to get actual justice is if you not only follow the law, statutes, and commandments. That's not enough. You have to be in the one body that the Most High set up. The one body is I.S.U.P.K. Right? Let's keep going.
Come. It began as a peaceful rally in support of workers striking for an 8-hour workday.
Striking for an 8-hour workday. That means these people were working 12+ hour days. Sometimes 6 and 7 days a week. You understand what I'm saying? This is what they were complaining about. Like I said, at one point in time, they were treating all these oppressors like they would treat us. This is what, 40 years, not even 40, 20 years after the abolition of slavery. Yeah, it's only about 20 years. So when they had to get an influx of labor, they're just going back to the mentality of what they were doing prior, what they were doing before. And they were treating all these people, all these immigrants who came over here, and all the people who were already over here, like they would treat us, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, like dirt, like trash. Not even second class citizens, like not even human. We weren't human according to the United States Constitution. We're only 3/5 of a man. Only 3/5 of they've yet to rectify that that in the Constitution. They've yet to rectify it. They may overlook it, but they can just like the oppressor. If you do something to upset them, and they're letting you get away with something, they're going to go to the letter of the law and be like, hey, look, did you read the fine print on this article right here? It says that you and everybody like you are only 3/5 of a man. So your one vote is only 3/5 of a vote. We gave you the right to vote, but you're only worth 3/5 of it. They can easily do that. Moreover, the civil rights the civil rights laws is just that, a law, and it could be go out of effect. It can fall off. It can go into non-existence if it doesn't get voted on it every 30 years. Amendments in the Constitution is something that's supposed to be held up in this nation. Amendments in the Constitution, once it's written and it's ratified and it's written in stone, quote unquote, there is no end life. You know what I'm saying? There's no expiration date on it. When there's laws, there are expiration dates on it, depending on however length they set it on. But the civil rights law is good for 30 years. Every 30 years, it's up for it being re-ratified or it's on a chopping block. If no one votes for it, our quote unquote civil rights can go out the window. That's how subtle this beast is. Let's keep going.
Come. The day after the events at the McCormick Harvesting Machine Company, during which one person was killed and many workers injured, an unknown person threw a dynamite bomb.
Okay, hold on. Read that part one more time. The day after.
Come. The day after the events at the McCormick Harvesting Machine Company, during which one person was killed and many workers injured.
Okay, so right the day after this incident happened, someone was killed and a bunch of people were injured, right? That's when the Haymarket Square riot kicked off, right? Keep going.
Come. An unknown person threw a dynamite bomb.
What? Threw a what?
A dynamite bomb.
So someone took a stick or a bundle of sticks and threw it where?
At the police.
God damn. So threw a dynamite bomb at the police. It's supposed to be a peaceful protest, right? Someone in this crowd wasn't thinking that it was that it's peaceful. They were pissed off. One, that they were working more than how they felt that they should be working. They're working more than 8 hours a day doing whatever the hell it is they were supposed to be doing. And they were figuring this ain't right. This event that happened prior to it, someone died and a bunch of people got injured. So they're saying, nah, we're fed up with this. So they protested, and they didn't. I find it hard to believe that someone just walks by and has, go to a protest or whatever and has a bundle of dynamite with them. I don't know who does that. Even in the professions where you need to blow something up, I don't think it's just being carried around. Even in the wild, I got this. Even in the wild west, you know what I'm saying, and in the way things were back then, I don't think people were just carrying around dynamite. I find that really hard to believe. So people, when they came to this event, they had murder in their mind. No doubt about it. This is murder. This is murder. This is a premeditated murder. So they went out looking to cause harm and destruction. Let's keep going. Do you have something?
If I may add a charge, I know it's not as high on the list as murder, but it's also reckless endangerment, because a dynamite stick, it expands. It's not focused on one person. That's mass casualties.
Exactly. Yeah. So it wasn't like it's not something like some aimed at precision like a gun. You know what I'm saying? Exactly what you said. It blows up and goes off in an area. Not only that, anything that it destroys, that thing then becomes a projectile that goes in every single direction, causing much more injury to the surrounding objects.
Yeah, concert. And looking at a news clip about 15, I would say about a 15-minute long news clip. This one newscaster said that people who do use bombs are sociopaths. They have no conscience. They do not care about anybody that gets hurt around that whole blast radius.
Like collateral damage. They don't care about the collateral damage. Anybody that gets hurt around them. Yeah.
Absolutely no feelings.
You're right. They have absolutely no feelings around what's going on, right? Why? Because whatever it is that they're doing it for, they believe that their cause is the ultimate, reason, justification for the devastation that's going to be caused with their bombs. You know what I'm saying? Even just setting up a bomb. It has a certain cowardice to it. You know what I'm saying? It has a certain cowardice to it. Why? Because you don't even have to. You're not going to be there. You're not going to be there to witness the destruction. And if you are going to be there to witness the destruction, you're going to be somewhere far, far away. You're not going to hear the cries. You're not going to hear the pleas. You're not going to hear the effects that the bomb actually causes, the destruction that it actually causes. You may see the aftermath, but just like snipers, you know what I'm saying? How the way people are described, the mentality of snipers. I know that snipers, even killers like that, they don't look at their targets, the people who they're going out to kill. They don't look at them as people. You know what I'm saying? They don't look at them as as somebody they're about to extinguish their life on. They look at them as an objective. They look at them as a target. Hey, I'm going to take this target out. On my record, I have 39 confirmed targets extinguished. They put in terms of like that to dehumanize the thing that they're actually doing. They're totally dehumanizing those things. As a matter of fact, if you could, Bob, should I switch some chairs? I just thought the water. No. Take that one, put it right here. Yeah. The water. Right. the water. There we go. What they do is they totally dehumanize their let's do that. They totally dehumanize the things that they're doing. They dehumanize this stuff, right? And when they do that, it makes it easier to go out and commit murder. They go out and make it easier to commit government sanctioned, authorized, license to kill murder. It is what it is. Let's continue on reading the Haymarket Affair. And like I said, the international community is over 80 countries base their Labor Day off of this single event right here. Keep going.
An unknown person threw a dynamite bomb at the police as they acted to disperse the meeting, and the bomb blast and ensuing gunfire resulted in the deaths of 7 police officers and at least 4 civilians. Dozens of others were wounded.
So at least 11 people were killed and dozens were wounded in this event. In this event, like you said, when they tossed this dynamite bomb into the crowd, they were aiming specifically at the police who were trying to disperse this protest. But in turn, it got, even if the bomb blast itself didn't kill those 4 civilians and injure those dozens of civilians, the ensuing gunshots that were fired afterward was caused by the bomb. You know what I'm saying? These people died because of the bomb. If they didn't die in the blast of the bomb, they died because of the bomb. They didn't care about anybody else getting hurt. Everybody, even back then in the 1800s, if you know what a bomb is, you know it just expands out. You know what I'm saying? It expands out, going, and anybody within that radius is getting got. So if you just throw it into a crowd and it's not, there is no aim towards it, you don't care about anybody else. Those people that was in the crowd were protesting with you, with that person. They don't give a damn about nobody. Just like they didn't care to they didn't have a care about the slaves that was getting treated like that. They didn't care about the freed slaves that's still getting treated like that. But once it comes to them and they get treated like they were slaves, they were secondhand citizens, that they were to be worked hard labor and be talked to at like any old kind of way, that's when they needed to do something. That's when they needed to start a movement. Because it has nothing to do with the real men and women who built this country, who put this nation on the map. The whole reason why this place is the number 1 superpower in the world is because it's off of the backs of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. That is the only reason why this place is even a tenth of its power. Let's keep going.
Oh, God.
That's what Slacky. One more thing. We're going to get out. The Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are going to get our Labor Day. It's not going to be called Labor Day, but when Christ comes back, he's going to set it in effect where it's going to be the second coming of a Passover type event. You know what I'm saying? Passover 2.0. The plagues are already beginning. The plagues are already here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how bad it was. I don't know how bad it was in Egypt. But goddamn, monkeypox. And it was an article where there was the first person just died of monkeypox in Texas. Like I said, I don't know how bad. I read how bad it was back then. I read, but there's a difference between reading something. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between reading something and actually seeing it, experiencing it. You know what I'm saying? There is a big difference. There is a huge difference. You can read something and just imagine like how the way it could have been, and then you actually see it. But like I said, the plagues are here. The plagues have already started. The seals have already been broken. Not all of them, but some of them have already been broken. And things are getting to a point where it's getting to a boiling point where the Most High is getting ready to send Christ back. And then we're gonna have just like Pagabor said, have a Passover 2.0. And then we'll be celebrated for our labor for and the help of bringing our nation together and then having Christ come back. Let's keep going.
In the internationally publicized legal proceedings that followed, 8 anarchists were convicted of conspiracy.
So, like, hold up, 1 second, real quick. Our watcher said chocolate chip face. God damn, that's that's a visual. And someone says, I'm that dude, brother. He asked, is the Day of Atonement today? No, the Day of Atonement is not today. Can you tell me when the Day of Atonement is?
The Day of Atonement, the 10th day of the 7th month, Tuesday, the 4th of October, 2022.
October 4th is the Day of Atonement. So that the next upcoming high holy day is a blowing of the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, right?
The memorial of blowing of trumpets.
Blowing is going to be on the 25th of September. The one after that is October 4th, which you're talking about, the Day of Atonement, right? No sweat. Salaki, yeah, you can continue reading Baba Kashaw.
The evidence was that one of the defendants may have built the bomb, but none of those on trial had thrown it.
Salaki, read from the top, Baba Kashaw.
In the internationally publicized legal proceedings that followed, 8 anarchists were convicted of conspiracy.
So international, like I said, this was an international event. Stuff can go viral in a matter of minutes and a matter of seconds in today's time. You know what I'm saying? You have powerful computers, you have, streaming services, streaming platforms, social media. You can be your own news, you know what I'm saying, depending on how much following you have, and things can go viral, pretty quickly. You can get depending on the subject matter or whatever it is that happens, you can get something that goes very viral, not only in your own community, not only in your own state, nation, but internationally, all over the world. Things can go over the world really fast in this time. And for something to go really fast, be international news way back in 1886, had to be a huge event, had to be something big. Why? Because they had something called the Pony Express and telegrams, doing, Morse code, get messages over long distances. Now, well, like back then, in order for it to just to gain attention, something had to be really big. Something had to be really, really big. This was a big event. You know what I'm saying? Having a protest and then having someone throw a bomb into a crowd of police officers. And they say they call us criminals. Right. They call us, super predators. Really? When did yeah, their eyes. When do we bomb anything?
I don't think we ever did.
Well, I don't even think we bombed ourselves. We do a lot to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We attack ourselves. We attack each other. We put each other down. We shoot each other. We sell each other drugs. We do despicable things to ourselves. But I I could be wrong, but I don't know of a time when we just bomb each other. When did we do that? And they, like I said, they call us super predators. They call us criminals. And let's just for the argument's sake, let's just say we did. Let's just say we took a bomb and did something like that. How many people how many people died in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? How many shadows did we cast because of a bomb? Nah, we ain't do none of that. We ain't do none of that. The Bible says, Esau is blessed with the sword. We ain't do none of that. Like, come on. Let's say we do sell drugs. We you know what I'm saying? Our people, because of the oppressor, we have that image of being drug dealers. That's our image, right? But how much drugs do the oppressors sell? All of them, yeah. If we sell them, where do you think we get them from? they believe us to be gangbangers and whatnot. We do have gangs. I give you that. Even there's even some gangs that are international. But you know who the biggest gangs are?
The police.
That's one of the biggest gangs. But a gang that's big, well, no, actually, you know what? I would say they're bigger. I would say they're bigger because I was going to say, the military is big, but just going out throughout the country, I'm talking about the U.S. There's, look that up for me, Barbara Shaw. How much military there are and how much police there are in the United States. There are, you know what I'm saying? But even still, both of them are still bullies and gangs. Both of them are still bullies and gangs. One is a gang that terrorizes the international community, and the other one is a gang that terrorizes its own people. Its own people, and I can't really say that. Why? Because we're not its people. But according to their definition, their standard, by definition, we're their people. By their definition, by their standard, we're their people. But if you have a system to set one people up just to totally destroy another group of people, how in the hell are we one and the same? How are we then your people if you're setting someone else up to be over me, to beat me in the head, to put your knee on me? You know what I'm saying? To pull me over for any reason, and then do anything that you damn well please, and then get away with it. How are we at all your people? Because we're not. 100% we're not. And that's something that the Bible says. The Most High has put that in the Bible for a very specific reason, because in this day we believe that everybody's the same. When they are showing us that no, the hell we are not. And it's just like us, Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, to look at the people who are kicking us in the head and saying, hey, all we got to do is love you harder, love you better, love you right, and then you'll stop kicking us in the head. And what they do, they'll back up. They're not backing up to not kick us in the head. They're backing up to get more ground so they can kick us even harder. That's the reality of it. And once we actually see this as a fact, as a reality, the better off we are. We don't need them. We don't need them. What we need to do is take our love from them and put it on every Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. If we do that, there won't be any school to prison pipeline. If we do that, there won't be any war on drugs. If we do that, there won't be any abortion clinics. If we do that, we won't need to have campaigns to buy Black and buy brown. Why? Because we're already doing that. Already. You have some, or you want to just?
Military police.
All right, let's see that.
As of September 2017, there are 1.3 million active duty military personnel
Active
and
duty.
800,000 reserve personnel. And in 2019, the FBI estimated that approximately 1,003,270 law enforcement were employed nationwide and distributed across more than 13,250 agencies. Of those, 697,195 were sworn officers and 306,075 civilian employees.
Okay. So sworn officers are the police on the streets walking the beat, quote unquote, because they don't walk the beat no more. I don't think I've ever seen since 2000. I think I've ever seen a cop just walking down the street. I don't think so. So what they're saying is 1.3 million active duty member. You said 1.3, and then what? 600,000? No, for the reserve. 800,000. So almost 2 million that they can call up, right? But what you don't know is, and then what? About 600,000 just sworn in, but then you have another 300-some thousand who are on the payroll, right? Okay. So what you don't know is many of the cops, law enforcement officers, prior military. Dare I say, I would probably say it's probably about 85% law enforcement is prior military. It might be, yeah. I want to say it's that high. So they learn how to be international bullies and then take that bullying and take it into their own communities. I can't even say their own community because most cops don't live in the community that they work in. It's supposed to be you was at one point in time you were supposed to live in the same community that you work in. At one point in time. Do you know how effective that would be? If you see something going on, something wrong, and then you go and do those same acts that you normally do, right? Bust somebody's head open for whatever reason that you think deems fit, and then you go home and then down the block at the end of the street is a family of the person you just busted their head open. You really think that's going to continue to happen? Nah. Why? Because your kids got to go to school with their kids. You got to see them at the grocery store. You got to see them at the gas station. And for some reason, you have to treat them as human beings. You're going to see them as human beings. You're going to see them as people. And if you see them as people, you're going to actually treat them as people. Whatever it is that they did, and even if they got into some mix up, and they see you like, hey man, I see this dude all the time. I see him picking up his kids at the school where my kids go to. You know what I'm saying? When I'm down at the gym, I see him at the gym. So if things have to go left, like I know him, he lives down the block. I know his family, or at least know of him. I'm not gonna buck wild and go crazy. Two-way street. You know what I'm saying? So just taking that part away from the job requirements dehumanizes the people that they're policing. You have something? Nah. Come with it. All right. Okay. I feel you. Let's just for time's sake, let's drop this and get me the Department of Justice and read the second paragraph, Baba Kashaw.
Okay. The United States Department of Justice infiltrated labor unions.
Infiltrated labor unions. Now, if you don't know, the labor unions really are well, just keep reading.
Come. Historically, organized criminal groups such as the Cosa Nostra or the Mafia gained substantial corrupt influence.
Right? They made them an offer they couldn't refuse. How many times we heard that? And why is it said that they can't refuse? Because if they do refuse, then some legs are going to get broke, some kneecaps are going to get broke, some hands are going to get broke, and it might not necessarily be theirs. It could be that of their families, that of their coworkers, that of their friends, that of their employees. So they made them offers that they could not refuse. Why? Because La Cosa Nostra, even though they try and operate in darkness, you know what I'm saying, in shadows and behind the scenes, they also heavily operate in violence and intimidation, and the intimidation of violence. So if you come across some and 9 times out of 10, I mean, they have different mafias throughout the world. They have the Russian mafia, they have the Irish mobsters, the Polish mobsters. They have but the ones that sit on top right now, or at least in Hollywood, in our perception, is the Italian mob. You know what I'm saying? So if the paisans come out and visit a construction site or whatever union site, you know who's in charge. You know who's in charge. And if you don't get down, in the words of Beanie Siegel, you're gonna lay down. Let's keep going.
Come. Historically, organized criminal groups such as the Cosa Nostra or the Mafia gained substantial corrupt influence and even control over labor unions by creating a climate of fear and intimidation among employers and union members by threats and acts of violence.
By threats and act of violence. So they threaten people with violence if they don't do what they tell them to do. And then you know what? They come around, and if they don't do it, they actually make good on those threats. That's how they rule labor unions. Back then till now. I used to live in Canada, and in particular Montreal. They labor unions are very powerful within that community, within that city. They had negotiated they had negotiated like a month-long vacation, like ongoing. So it would be like 2 weeks in the summer, 2 weeks in the winter, and however many holidays that they would have. But that was a big thing. They also had something while I was up there. They had something called they had a labor strike. It was throughout all of the province of Quebec. If anybody was seen or found working, and this came from one of the Quebecois, what they call them. You know what I'm saying? He was telling me how he heard that, I mean, of course he heard. Everybody knew. It was all over. It's all over the news. When they tell you to strike, you do not go to work. You absolutely do not go to work. He went to work because he was just trying to, all right, well, F it. I'm trying to make some money. He went to work, and when he got to the site, he said it was some big paisan came up to him and was like, "Hey, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Why are you here?" And he was like, "Well, I came to work." He said he immediately came up and he immediately came up. Hey, Sly, hold on 1 second, brother. If you could just hold on 1 second outside, and the brother's going to check him. The water. I appreciate you. And when he when he came through, the dude like held him up, scruffed him up and whatnot, and told him you're not going to work, and if you come back here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break a couple of your bones, right? So what he did was he said, "Okay, I'm sorry," and he got the hell up out of Dodge. That's exactly how La Cosa Nostra works. That because that wasn't he was a labor union rep, but he wasn't he was involved in quote unquote the underworld, and that's how they operated. Now this is coming from the Department of Justice. Department of Justice. Yeah, bro, you're gonna have a seat, one of these seats up here. The water. Yeah. No, but I can get you one. I can get you one. Hold on to it. After class. I'm gonna get you one. So this is coming from the labor union. This and the labor union is saying how the how they La Cosa Nostra, the mob, infiltrated labor unions, and they now took over these labor unions, and how the way they're running things. They're running things through coercion and threats of violence, and definitely acts of violence as well. Also, and as you can see, in the past, how the labor unions resorted to violence as well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep on reading here. Where'd you leave off at? I'm just gonna start from the top. No sweat, no sweat. Historically organized crime groups such as La Cosa Nostra or the Mafia gained substantial corrupt influence and even control over labor unions by creating a climate of fear and intimidation among employers and union labor workers members by threats and acts of violence. Working in the United States Attorney's Office, the Labor Management Racketeering Unit in the OCGS, which is the Organized Crime and Gang Section, has assisted criminal prosecution and civil RICO lawsuits to eliminate such corrupt influence and control over labor unions and their affiliate organizations. So this has been going on for decades. And not only that, like I said, they run these labor unions. All these labor unions all across, I can only speak of US and Canada. I haven't been to those places in all over the world, but here, organized crime runs labor unions. It's big business for them. You got something, brother? Uh-huh.
That's like I forgot the name of the movie, but something like Goodfellas. It's one of them, the Irish mob, something like that.
Yeah.
The leader of the labor union, he was never found, something like that.
Jimmy, well, I'm telling you, you're talking about Jimmy Hoffa. There's a couple movies that they had that they had about him. Yeah. Uh-huh.
The guy in Cleveland. That was one of
the Irishman.
Is that what it was? He was the Irish Danny Plummer.
I think I know who you're talking about.
From the labor union from the longshoremen.
Yeah. That was the Irishman. That was the Irishman, and he was with the Irish Mafia. That's him. Yeah. And how, like I said, it's not just the Italian Mafia, but it's the Irish mob. You have the Russian mob out here as well. Doesn't matter. It's organized crime coming into to labor unions, and they're taking control over it. And with that, the international community has recognized that day, May Day, not May Day, because that's a whole separate event, but that day in May, to have their own labor union, not their own labor union, their own Labor Day. So around the world, internationally, most 80 countries, their Labor Day is May 1st. The Labor Day here in the United States and Canada is the first Monday in September. Slovakia. Bear with me 1 second. We did CNN. We did that. What you need? No, we don't have it. Get me that first article if you could, Baba Kashar.
Come. Union violence in the United States. When union violence has occurred, it has frequently been in the context of industrial unrest. Violence has ranged from isolated acts by individuals to wider campaigns of organized violence aimed at furthering union goals within an industrial dispute.
Like I said, so La Cosa Nostra was the group that infiltrated into the labor unions, and historically they've used violence to further their goals. And what is for their goals is to make more money. You know what I'm saying? So what they're doing is, and some of the rules that they have, like, you know, it may be simple rules to the eye, but it really is to make more money for these organized groups. For instance, like overtime. You know what I'm saying? The company gets paid a certain portion. So let's just say if you make, you know, $10 an hour and you were to make overtime, you would make $15 an hour for those overtime hours, right? So the company would then, the union would charge, you know, $30 or $40 an hour, and then they'll give you that $15 for those overtime hours. So in order for them to get that structure, they would have to have the companies agree to certain these labor laws. And since they won't agree, they will use coercion, violence, and intimidation. So this has everything to do with violence and to a means to their end, so that they can eventually make more money. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to close out the class. Does anybody have any questions before I actually close it out? Comments or concerns? No. And with that, I pass the class over to Priest and Officer Pagagua. If you could, Baba Shah. Come on.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means 10th in Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. The upcoming holy convocation is the memorial of blowing the trumpets. September 25th, 2022. And you can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 24 through 25. Remind Akim and Akwathian to check on social media, such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, or scarf. With that, let's...
1 second. Also, I want to reiterate, Commanding General Yahanna will be live and in the building in Washington, D.C. to give the Black Watch show tonight. He will be live and in the building tonight here for Black Watch. If you can, make it out to the D.C. school.
Come. And with that, I say Imadium, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Imadium Shabbat. Imadium, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yah Yom Matah. Class dismissed.
Sister got up out of there.